What's up? I'm eating Chipotle. Treating myself to Chipotle bowl. I usually never eat out. I feel guilty. I've felt guilty all throughout my 20s eating out, just because it's like, I don't know, I could put that towards music or some shit. That being said, maybe it's my coffee addiction, but I don't feel super guilty getting coffee. That being said, I also typically make coffee at home, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about asking. You don't get what you don't ask for. And I'm going to tell you a little story that hopefully in some capacity may either directly apply to you in a situation you're in and or may not, but hopefully it's transferable. And so it was 4th of July. I was paddleboarding and I fell. I had my phone on me and I fell in the ocean. And the thing about salt water with phones is the water damage is a lot more intense. And so I had water damage on my phone, like kind of immediately. The Siri was acting up, and I was with AT&T. I've been with AT&T since my first phone back in 6th grade or some shit. So AT&T all the way. Long story short, with AT&T, on an unrelated note, I was just fed up with them and their customer service, and just I was kind of over it anyway, and was considering switching to a different provider just before this phone thing even happened. So I fall in the water, and not more than 48 hours later, my phone's really acting up, and then at a certain point it won't charge. I can't plug it in. My camera's fucked, like blurry because of the salt water. And so I go to Apple and they tell me I either need to pay off the remaining, because I financed my phone. So I either need to pay off the remaining balance of my phone, which is about $900, and then I can finance a new one. And I'm back to where I was at with my monthly amounts. And I'm like, I don't have $900 to pay off a phone, you know? I was like considering like a flip phone and all that, but I gotta use this thing to make videos, to promote my music, and just like, I was stressing. And then, you know, I heard that there's deals at Verizon and T-Mobile, which I was considering anyway. So I pop up to Verizon. They give me $800 towards my $900 balance, and then $1,000 towards a new 16 Pro Max. Now, the 16 Pro Max, I didn't want. I was fine with the 16 Pro, but they didn't have the 16 Pro. So I took the 16 Pro Max. Now, I'm filming this on the 16 Pro Max, and I just went back to Verizon because it's so big. It's too big. And I was like, you know what, why not? Let me just go back and see if I can switch it. So I just went in. They said, I'm going to switch it from the 16 Pro Max to the 16 Pro. And I would save a few dollars, but instead I'm going to get the 1 terabyte because of video and whatever. So I'm not spending any more money. I'm not necessarily saving any more money, but it's the phone that I prefer. This phone's a little too big for me. They said the only thing I have to pay is a $50 restocking fee. And then I said, let me just ask, bro. Let me just ask. You know, there's the Chris Voss, the negotiation expert. There's different ways to ask for things. Are you opposed to, or like, what I'll ask sometimes, I say that all the time. My girlfriend gets mad at me because I'll be like, are you opposed? Or I'll say I'm not opposed or whatever. She calls me out on it. But another thing I'll say is like, is it within the realm of possibility, or like, is there a world, or is there a possible way? You know, and I said, is there any way, in any possible way, to waive the $50 restocking fee? If I didn't ask that question, I would have paid the $50 restocking fee. But when you ask the question, people look for an answer. It's also how you ask it and what you're asking, you know? If I'm like, hey man, can you just give me a free phone? Like, no, you know? But like, that means you don't get what you don't ask for, and you never know. But they may have deals going on that you don't know about. And I think that's part of the punchline, is like, you don't know what you don't know. And so I asked, I was like, is there any way to waive the restocking fee? Holy shit. And they said, only if there was a defect with the phone, or if there was something wrong with it. And I said, well, technically. And then the other guy kind of butted in and was like, well, he didn't want this phone originally. He wanted the 16 Pro. And I was like, yeah, exactly. Like, had you had that phone here, I would have just taken that one, and I wouldn't be here right now. So the guy's like, yeah, I think we'll be able to waive that $50 fee for you. So, and I'm going to be able to exchange all these accessories. I just, sometimes we settle. And it's like, man, I think there is a fine line, because I was struggling too. I was like, I'm so grateful for this. I'm over AT&T. Verizon's just way better. I'm so happy with it. But like, on top of that, like, I don't have to pay the remaining balance. They're covering that. I just have to pay $100 of it or whatever. And the balance on this phone, instead of $1,500 or whatever it is $1,000 off. So it's like, I'm in a better position than I was with my 15 Pro with the 16 Pro. Like, I had $900 balance. Now I have like, what, $400 plus that I had like, you know what I mean? With a better phone, brand new. And so, and then I guess I paid a couple $100 for accessories, or not even, they're all discounted. But it's just like, you don't get what you don't ask for, I'm at Chipotle right now. I got half brown rice, half white rice, half brown beans, half black beans, half steak and half chicken. Like, you can really, not to, and it sounds fucking cheesy, I don't get cheese in here, but like, you can, life's a Chipotle bowl. You can ask for more guac, bro, literally too. Like, you can straight up be like, hey man, any way to throw in a little bit more guac? Worst case, you're right back where you are. So I don't know how this is transferable, but it's just a great reminder. Don't get what you don't ask for. Ask for more. And, there's a Benjamin Franklin story where, to build rapport with someone, I think it was his enemy at the time or something, but he didn't give a fuck about the book, but he asked him if he could borrow the book. And one way that he won that dude over was like, why would you lend a book to someone you don't fuck with? And I forget the whole story, but like, the point is, like, ask people to do things for you. Be, intentional. But you obviously want to play it safe. You don't want to be rude, and all that's valid. But like, you don't get what you don't ask for, So anyway, ask for more. Ask for more from yourself. Ask for more from, even if it's a Chipotle worker. Obviously, be kind. Be kind to the service people, bro. Some people are just rude and they take it out on. Be kind, bro. Be present. Try to connect with the human. Leave a tip if you can. A little goes a long way. And be grateful for what you got, but also ask for more. It's okay. It's okay to ask for more. It's okay to have desire and to want more. And it's not out of someone else's pocket, or it's like, I'm not winning at someone's disadvantage here by getting that fee waived. Oftentimes, all these phone companies, they compete, like, they have deals. Like, you just don't know what you don't know. You got to ask. So I'm trying to think how that can apply to music and how that can apply to videos, but I don't know. That's all I got for now, bro. I'm gonna keep enjoying this. I'm gonna ask y'all to like this video and subscribe if you watch this far. Leave a comment. Tell me a time that you asked for more, or apply this in real life. Come back to this video and let me know what you got. I have a video back in college at Starbucks where I asked for a discount. Tim Ferriss talks about this. It was like fear setting or whatever. And you just go like, hey, can I get a discount? Worst case, you say no. Like, the thing about asking is you really have nothing to lose, especially if you do it in a respectful, kind way. Like, the issue is when you're asking and it's like expectations, and like, because then there's resentment and all that. What's the quote? Uncommunicated expectations equals resentment. So anyway, we're about 10 minutes in. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm also going to ask you to stream my music on Spotify, Zico, ZCO, on all platforms. Go check out the music. Peace.